Imagine suddenly realizing that what you always thought was just an ordinary struggle was actually a sign that God Himself was shaping you for something far greater. Imagine understanding that certain details of your journey were never coincidences, but deep marks left by His own hand upon your life. Today, you are going to recognize 4 marks that God places only on those He chooses, empowers, and anoints. And as you listen to each one of them, you may discover that these marks have been with you all along. You just needed someone to reveal them to you. Get ready. After you hear this, you will no longer doubt what God is doing in your life. When God chooses someone, He does not begin by showing titles, positions, or greatness. He begins by revealing signs, small at first, but powerful enough to transform anyone who is paying attention. And the first of these signs is usually so subtle that many ignore it. But those who are anointed by God feel it deeply, like a flame that refuses to go out. This first sign is that persistent sense of purpose, even when everything around you tries to silence you. Anointed people carry an internal mission that does not depend on applause, followers, recognition, or favorable circumstances. It is as if their hearts carry a daily reminder that something greater is waiting. Sometimes this reminder comes as restlessness, sometimes as certainty, and other days as a weight so strong that it can't be ignored. And what is most interesting is that the more the enemy tries to bring you down, the stronger this purpose burns inside you. It is almost as if the battles become fuel. Anointed people do not quit easily. They may fall, but they never stay down. This is not personal strength. This is a divine mark. It is God saying, I raised you up, and no one will stop you. But alongside this purpose comes another very clear characteristic. Anointed people develop a different spiritual sensitivity. They perceive things that others do not. They sense when something is wrong, even if no one says anything. They recognize open or closed spiritual doors. They hear silent warnings. They feel spiritual pressures that others might call exaggeration. But they know, they feel. This is not paranoia. This is discernment given by the Spirit. It is a deep mark that appears long before the anointing becomes visible to the public. Remember David. He sensed spiritual movement long before he was recognized as king. He perceived the atmosphere. He read the spiritual climate. He knew when to act, and most importantly, when to wait. Those anointed by God carry this same perception. And this sensitivity is not limited to environments. It reaches people. The anointed can recognize the wounded even when they smile on the outside. They recognize spiritual attacks disguised as criticism. They recognize bad advice disguised as good intentions. They recognize relationships that pull them away from God, even when they appear harmless. And this perception is not given for fear, but for protection. God equips His anointed with vision long before He equips them with position. But here is a detail that few people talk about. This spiritual sensitivity often brings seasons of loneliness. Not loneliness because of a lack of people, but because of a lack of people who truly understand what you feel. Anointed people walk through seasons where they move almost alone, not because they want to, but because God is removing influences that could block what He is building. God protects His chosen ones by removing from your life whatever does not align with your purpose. That is why you have lost people without understanding why. That is why doors you desperately wanted to open suddenly closed. That is why relationships you thought would last ended without explanation. It was not rejection, it was protection. This is a mark of the anointed. God blocks what delays you and brings closer what strengthens you, even when you do not understand it. And do you know what happens when this loneliness arrives? You learn to depend more on God. You learn to hear His voice without interference. You learn to grow strong without an audience. You learn to walk by faith instead of by emotion. And this is not punishment. It is training. God does not anoint fragile people. He anoints those who are strengthened in the secret place. Another powerful sign that appears in this phase is the emotional and spiritual endurance that God builds inside you. Anointed people go through wars that could destroy anyone else, but you are still here. And honestly, it's not because you're strong. It's because God held you. He sustained you in moments no one ever saw. He carried you on days when you wanted to give up. That strength that shows up exactly when you need it most does not come from you. It comes from Him. This is a mark of anointing. That is why so often you surprise yourself. You look at a situation that should have broken you, and yet you came out even stronger. Anointed people are forged in fire, purified under pressure, strengthened through battle. God does this because those who are anointed must be able to carry the weight of the calling that comes later. He prepares you today for what He will place in your hands tomorrow.
And while He prepares you, He also separates you. Anointed people go through seasons where God hides them. It feels like you are off the radar. It feels like no one sees you. It feels like everything is moving slowly. It feels like doors will not open. It may even feel like God has forgotten you. But it is not forgetfulness. It is preservation. God hides what is precious. He guards what is rare. He protects what is special. Just as He hid David in the fields before placing him on the throne, God hides you so He can shape you without distractions. And it is exactly in this hidden place that one of the greatest marks appears. The presence of God begins to follow you in a different way. You feel peace in moments that should cause panic. You feel direction when everyone else feels lost. You feel comfort where others would only see chaos. His presence becomes so constant that you realize you are not alone. You never were. This is a mark of the anointed. Wherever you go, He goes. Wherever you step, His presence steps with you. And this presence does not only sustain you, it transforms you. It changes the way you see, feel, and decide. It pushes you away from what would destroy you and draws you closer to what builds you. You begin to realize that God is not only with you, He is working within you. And this, my friend, this is only the beginning of the marks He places on the chosen ones. The second great sign of someone anointed by God is this: everything you do begins to carry a different spiritual weight. Whether it is a simple word, a small gesture, or a brief prayer, somehow it touches people, transforms environments, and shifts atmospheres. It is as if what comes from you carries a force that is not your own. Anointed people do not need to shout to be heard. They do not need to promote themselves to be noticed. The anointing speaks for them. When you are anointed, your presence brings peace to chaotic environments, wisdom to critical moments, and stability when everything feels broken. Some people cannot explain it, but they feel something different when you arrive. It is God marking territory through you. And this creates something curious. People begin to seek you out without you fully understanding why. They come for advice. They come asking for prayer. They open their hearts. They ask for help, even when you feel like you have no answers. But in the moment you open your mouth, words you never planned appear. You speak with clarity, confidence, and conviction that even surprises you. This is God's anointing flowing naturally. Here is a powerful truth. The anointing does not make you better than others. It makes you useful to God. But alongside this spiritual influence comes another sign: intensified attacks. Anointed people attract spiritual warfare with unusual intensity. The more God lifts someone up, the more the enemy tries to bring them down. Not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous. Sometimes the attacks come through people close to you. Sometimes through thoughts. Sometimes through doors that should open but suddenly become blocked without explanation. But here is what separates the anointed. Not one attack ends the way the enemy planned. While others would collapse, you grow stronger. While others would panic, you draw closer to God. While others lose heart, you pray. While others fall, you learn. This makes the enemy angry, and it makes God proud. Because the anointed do not live by strength alone, they live by grace. The third sign is that the anointing begins to open doors you could never open by yourself. Unexpected opportunities, unplanned encounters, connections you never imagined, paths you never considered. And everything happens so naturally that you realize this is not luck, this is God. Anointed people carry uncommon divine protection. Situations that could have ended far worse did not. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual covering. The fourth great sign is this: wherever you go, something changes. Environments shift. People change. Atmospheres are transformed. You carry impact. And finally, there is one last sign that is as deep as it is clear. Those who are anointed by God are never forgotten by God. The anointing does not remove the process, but it guarantees that the process will never be in vain. You are being shaped. You are being trained. You are being prepared. You are being strengthened. God does not anoint by accident. He anoints for purpose. If you recognize these marks in your life, do not doubt anymore. God chose you. God separated you. God is preparing you. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments, tell us which of these marks do you see most clearly in your life today.